Some people say nothing in this world is free, but there are still some things that you can get for free. Here are some examples: a broken heart, a paper cut, a splinter, and here's another one, a scam. Yep, it's true. This video is completely free, which means you can save some money and then use that money to buy something else. That's also free, like a scam. In fact, we're going to tell you about some hidden scams that people still fall for every day, even though they've been around for ages. Coming up next, and no, 1. The printer ink trap. It happens every year when students go back to school. They need to print out research papers, handouts, group projects, and many of them don't have access to a printer at home. So what do? They go online and start shopping. They type in keywords like cheap printer or best printer under $100 and click on whatever comes up first. Then the search results magically show an assortment of printers from different brands that seem pretty decent for the price. And of course, if the student doesn't already have any ink cartridges, they need to factor that into the equation too. But no problem, because most of those listings come with free ink cartridges. So the student gets the printer, prints out all their stuff, and goes on their merry way. Except here's the catch: the ink that came with the printer isn't really free. It just looks that way when you look at the total cost of the printer plus the ink cartridges versus getting the same printer and extra ink cartridges from somewhere else. Like, let's say you want this HP Envy Inspire 7955DW multifunction printer. If you were to buy it from Best Buy, you would have to pay $220 for the printer and $60 for 2 ink cartridges, totaling $280. But if you wanted to get the same exact printer and 2 extra ink cartridges from Amazon, it would only cost $239, which means that ink isn't free. It's just bundled into the price of the printer so that the store can charge more for the actual printer. So if you decide to go with the printer that includes the ink, you're actually paying more for the ink. That means you're falling for the printer ink trap. And speaking of traps, did you know that your skin has a natural defense mechanism to protect you from harm? Unfortunately, it stops working when you hit 40, and that's when you should start using skincare products from a certain company. But now back to the video. No, 2. Back to school sales. Every August and September, retailers across the country pull out the red, blue and yellow clearance bins and stack them high with notebooks, folders and pencils. All this stuff is heavily discounted because schools are starting soon. And once again, the savvy student comes along and starts thinking about buying a printer. They might have used a hand-me-down printer for the past few years, but now that they're in college, they need something better, something with a little more pizzazz, something that won't break down after printing 3 pages of Plato. So they start searching online for deals, and boy, howdy do they ever find some good ones. HP printers are all over the top Google search results. There's the OfficeJet Pro 9025E that costs $240 off. Or how about the Envy Inspire 7955E for $250 off? Or maybe you want to go with Canon, in which case you could get a discounted Megashot ProGraph Pro 300, which is a mouthful. But there's a problem. The sale price you see online is only available for a limited time, usually less than 24 hours. So if you want it, you gotta act fast. Better yet, why not sign up for the retailer's rewards program, so you can be the first to know about all their deals? What could possibly go wrong? The truth is, those deals are always available. You could search for the exact same thing on any given Tuesday, and you'd see the exact same discount. Why? Because that's how retailers get you to buy the back-to-school printer. They slash the price so you think you're getting a great deal, except you're not. That printer might seem cheap, but you'll end up spending far more on ink. Which brings us to quick ink depletion. You might have read the fine print and figured out that the ink you receive is only enough to print a few hundred pages. But how fast will that ink run out? Is it 1 page per week, 2 pages per month, maybe 5 pages per semester? Well, how about 0 pages? Yep, that's right. Some manufacturers have developed printers that can print up to 1,000 pages without an ink cartridge. Which sounds like a steal until you realize that average college students print between 1,000 and 5,000 pages per year. So yeah, that ink-free printer is probably going to run out of ink before the next sale. And when it does, you'll be stuck buying new cartridges that cost more than the printer itself. And when you add all those extra costs up, you realize that you fell for the quick ink depletion scam. We know. You thought you were being smart by getting that printer when it was on sale. But trust us, there are other scams out there that are way sneakier. And no, 4. The diamond is forever scam. If you were born in the early to mid 1900s, you probably grew up hearing this slogan on TV. The ad showed a beautiful woman walking through a forest with her fiancé and a cute little puppy following behind them. He takes off his jacket to reveal a velvet box, opens it up, and asks her to marry him. She says yes. He slips the ring on her finger, and they live happily ever after. Well, not quite. The fact is, the woman wasn't supposed to get married in that commercial. She was supposed to get engaged. Because according to the De Beers brand, the only way to get engaged properly was with a diamond ring. In fact, this entire campaign revolved around the idea that diamond engagement rings were a time-honored tradition. Only there was a problem. Diamond engagement rings weren't a time-honored tradition. They were an invention, albeit one that happened organically over several centuries. Before the 1930s, men proposed with all kinds of rings, including those made out of pearls, sapphires, and garnets. But then something interesting happened. People started buying more diamonds as gemstones. In fact, by 1948, over half of all engagement rings had diamonds. But by the 1980s, that number jumped to 75%. So what changed? Why did people suddenly start preferring diamonds? Well, that's thanks to the De Beers brand, which rolled out its famous campaign, Diamond is Forever, in 1948. The ads were so effective that they helped increase engagement ring sales by 50% within a decade. And today, 80% of all engagements happen with a diamond. Which means, if you want to propose, you should probably go with a diamond. Unless you don't have $30,000 lying around. Then you can just settle for a cubic zirconia. Now check out our video, Biggest Scams That Are Still Legal. Or watch this video instead.